so much for tuning to Sense Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we're going to be doing a twofer review because I read these books back to back. She Gets the Girl and Joy to the Girls. So Joy to the Girls is a novella. Both of these were gifted to me by the publisher. So once again, thank you to the publisher for sending these books to me. I quite like them. I enjoyed them more than I thought I was going to because they're contemporary romances. You know, they're young adult contemporary romances. I read young adult. That's not really the issue with me. I love young adult. Someone once came to the bookstore like, is 25 too old to be reading young adult? I'm like, no. I'm 34 and I read it. I'm like, there is no age limit on what you enjoy. And she's like, bet. And I'm like, yeah, don't let people stop you from reading what you like, okay? My little PSA there. But I don't read normally contemporary romances. You know, I don't mind romance in a book. I just need plot and substance. So this is not a book I would normally go out of my way to read. But I'm so glad I did. So thank you to the publisher for sending it. I do like Rachel Levencourt as a author. She did write this book she co-wrote it with her wife. And it was fun. And it's a dual POV because it's about Alex and Molly. So Alex is like the cool girl, right? She wants to be pre-med, not for any reason other than the pay. Because her mother is kind of an alcoholic, not a present mom ever since or even before their father left. It just got worse after her father left. So she has a very complicated home life, you know, and her goal is to just go to college and get a career, even if it's not one she loves, so that she can just not worry so much about money. You know, she wants to be able to take care of her mom. And her mom right now is just, you know, kind of checked out. Her mom doesn't have a job. So Alex has been working at a bar, you know, to kind of pay the bills. And she has people checking in on her mother to make sure, you know, she's just, you know, not dating the wrong person and whatnot and so forth. So there's a lot of complications in her life. But she's like the cool girl. She can just flirt like nobody's business, which seems to be an issue for her rock star girlfriend who doesn't trust her. I don't like her rock star girlfriend, for the record. She makes her feel like shit, and I don't like that. But again, Alex has a very skewed perception of what love is, right? And she thinks because rocker chick was around and didn't run away after finding her mom, you know, passed out on the porch. She's like, oh wow, this girl really does love me. She stuck around. She's helping me take care of my mom. No, she makes Alex feel like shit. She doesn't trust. She's like, well, I can't trust you because you flirt with everyone that you meet. And it's like, girl, no, that is not Alex at all. And if you read the book, you understand, you know, the complexities that go into Alex's character. She is much more than just like this bimbo cool chick. You know, she's just got charisma. There's nothing wrong with being charismatic, right? Her and Molly don't exactly hit it off because Molly is very much an introvert. She didn't really have a whole lot of friends in high school, not for any reason other than she just didn't want to get out there and make friends. You know, she has a lot of anxiety. And she also has a kind of a complex relationship with her own mother because she is half Korean, except her mother was adopted. So she has no connection to her Korean roots. And she has a very skewed perception of her own culture that Molly doesn't want to share, you know? So it's part of her anxiety where her mom's kind of like her best friend and she needs her mom. Oh, wow, I totally get that. Her mom's her best friend and her mom just kind of wants to be her best friend, but at least her mom encourages her to go out with, you know, her friends and be social, not so much an introvert. If you know, you know. So she has her own complicated relationship with her mother, and her mother is loving. You know, both of these girls do have loving mothers. I will say that. Alex's mother is not a bad person, but she is an alcoholic. But both of them, because they have complicated relationships with their mothers, that kind of affects who they are as people, and they don't always open up. And Alex decides, you like Cora, we're gonna get you the girl, because she is hoping to prove to her rock star girlfriend that she can be friends with other girls and not sleep with them, even though she never did anything like that to begin with. But you know, insecure much, right? So Alex and Molly become best friends, so to speak, and they start opening up with each other in ways that they've never opened up with anyone else. And in doing so, why does it sound like a movie? I'm thinking of a movie and I can't think of the movie. They start to fall in love, and Molly's like, no, I finally got the girl. I've got the girl that I've always been dreaming of my entire life. I have the girl. And Alex realizes when she's alone with her girlfriend, she's like, you are not the girl. I don't love you. You make me feel like shit. You're not a good person. But of course they have a little falling out and they don't speak, but then, you know, they come to that realization oh, they love each other. You know, I like this story because there's lots of substance. There's lots of depth to the characters, depth to their relationship. I love even the side characters. You know, Alex's boss on the food truck that she works. He's such a great guy. I love him to death. He's a sweetheart. Noah, Molly's brother, another side character. There really is a lot of emotional depth to the story in these girls because they're trying to break out of who they were and break out of the preconceptions other people have of them and really just be themselves and own themselves. And, you know, with Alex, it's forming bonds with friendship without sexual interactions. It's not being limited to just being kind of the party cool girl, to being with people who trust her, you know. And with Molly, it's breaking out of her shell, not being the same introvert that she always was. You know, she really wants to be an outgoing person and not let her anxieties control her, which totally feel that. And of course they end up together and it's really cute and heartfelt, and I couldn't put it down. I'm like, oh my god, this is cute. I love this. So after, you know, I did read Joy to the Girls, which takes place 3 years later. Our girls are still together and now they have to help Cora, Molly's one-time crush, get the girl. And again, it's a short, sweet novel. It takes place during Christmas time. They go to, you know, Christmas capital of the U.S. And they each, you know, they're, you know, getting ready to senior year. Molly wants to go to an MFA program in England, and Alex wants to get an apartment with her and wants to ask her to move in with her. So they're both kind of just dealing with these two large secrets, and they don't know how the other person's going to react. You know, Alex doesn't want to get her heart broken. Molly doesn't want to get her heart broken. And then, of course, they get into a little argument about it. It's fun. It's a short, sweet novel, but you get to see where our girls are and how they've grown together. From She Gets the Girl. They're still the same girls, but they are much older. They're mature. Their relationship is stronger. I love their friendship with Cora. Who would have thought that would have happened? The three of them would have been best friends after the fiasco of She Gets the Girl. So it's a really fun novel, and I'm glad, and this is why I like to get arcs from publishers. Because even if it's a book that's typically not my cup of tea, I do like to step out of my normal comfort zone, and I'm glad I do sometimes. Because then I'm experiencing, you know, whole new writing styles, and it's just fun. It was a fun, sweet little duology here, and Alex and Molly are great characters. You know, they're opposites that do attract, and they work together. It's funny. My husband's name is Alex. Every time I kept saying Alex, I kept thinking of my husband. Who, we're also opposites, but we're also very similar. He's my person. Sorry, didn't mean to get cheesy there. But, you know, it was a sweet novel. I really did enjoy it. I ended up gifting both of these books to my bestie, Gina, because I'm like, oh my god, I need you to read these because they're just sweet. And she's a romance girly. So, but I think they're sweet and cute. She's probably going to think that they're sweet and cute as well. And I'm like, these are actually sweet and cute. You're going to like them. I'm like 99% of the time right about her book taste. I get her. My work wife. But in any case, I do highly recommend them. Both of these books, they were really cute. I do say read them back to back because you just get to see just how far these girls have come in their love story. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your blogging friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.